Marjorie Taylor Greene again. She says that, yeah, racism is real and people are being targeted because of the color of their skin. We're talking about white people, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene says January 6th prisoners, okay, we're talking about people that committed terrorism, are abused because of the color of their skin. That's what she has said. Let's go to the video.
Well, looking in the jail, we put the full tour in there. So there's a lot of detail about every single part of the jail. Now, here's what I can say about criminal justice reform. I do not think it's good for anyone in prison to have to read Nation of Islam newspapers and that be one of the only publications they have, or information or curriculum that informs them because of the color of their skin. This is why they're being treated this way. I don't think that is good to rehabilitate anyone. I think in prisons and jail, we should rehabilitate people, and that has to do with job skills, education, and building character so that when they leave there, they're able to have a really good second chance. And those are the things I believe in and I would like to work on. As far as the difference in the jail, though, it's very clear. The January 6th defendants, they were not allowed to participate in any of the continuing education curriculums that we were shown that other inmates and other pretrial defendants are allowed to participate in. The January 6th defendants are not allowed to participate in job training like the other inmates and defendants are allowed to participate in. The January 6th defendants are not allowed to participate in mock trials that there was a third-year law school student there helping other inmates learn how to handle the courtroom and what to do. None of those things were offered for the January 6th defendants. They were isolated in a separate wing of the jail where they are abused, where they are ridiculed, where they are mocked because of their political beliefs and because of January 6th and because of the color of their skin. So there is a two-tier justice system, and these are the things that need to end. I believe in criminal justice reform, but I believe it should be reform that's fair completely across political lines and skin color. And I can tell you what we saw in the DC jail, none of that exists.
Finally, Republicans believe there's a two-tier justice system. Finally, Republicans believe that, yes, there's discrimination and bias in the criminal justice system. But they believe it's adversarial to white people with white skin. Marjorie Taylor Greene saying more insane things. I didn't think it could get any worse. With her, it definitely has. Let me give you some background to this. Now, she claims that they are forced to read the Nation of Islam newspapers. Not true. The newspaper is called The Final Call. It is in federal prisons. But 82% of the literature inside of federal prisons are Christian literature. They have access to this. It sounds as if she's trying to make a case to get rid of the variation of religious text or religious literature inside of the jail. Another thing, her claims about physical abuse and discrimination because they are white, that claim has no basis in fact. There is no report, there is no video, there is no eyewitness testimony to back up her claims. Now, let's get to the meat of it. The wild claims came during a press conference alongside who? Representative Paul Gosar, Florida Rep Matt Gaetz, Texas Rep Gohmert, where the quartet decried the treatment of the small group of alleged rioters who've been jailed because they've been charged with some of the most serious crimes committed during the insurrection at the Capitol. Now, see, this is context, right? When you go to prison, you are classified based on offense. This classification determines if you are violent, if you are not a threat or possibly pose a threat to the physical safety of others and to the jail staff. That's why there's a classification process. This process has been in place, this protocol has been in place for about 60 years in the United States of America, formally, for about 60 years, okay? It gets deeper. The Texas Rep, Gohmert, went on to support Greene's accusations by saying, and I quote, "What is being described by these political prisoners is nothing short of human rights violations." Gomer backed up Greene's claims that the alleged January 6th rioters, terrorist attack, that they were being abused while offering a caveat on her charge of racism. "We've been accused of saying, oh, you're out to help the whites. I don't know what skin color everybody in the DC jail had until I got there. But other inmates are telling me the most verbally abused person in there happens to be black, that he has caught more flack than any of the white defendants," he said. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene is all white, said it's all white people. They need to get their stories together before they go tweeting. Okay, both Gomer and Greene often spread conspiracy theories like this. They are peas in a pod. There's more. If they were going to charge someone with insurrection, it's beginning to sound more and more like those would be agents for the federal government that were there stirring things up, trying to get people engaged in violence. Once again, an echo effect of what Matt Gaetz said during his press conference by saying, "We demand the FBI tell us about their involvement." You know why they frame it that way? To make you think, oh, obviously the FBI is involved if they're asking the question that way, okay? And now you have other representatives who are coming out saying, it was the federal government who actually made these white people who committed an act of terror do the terroristic thing. Guess what? It won't work on you, but there's a section of society that will eat this junk up. They will eat it up and believe it to be the gospel truth. And they know it. Gomer knows good and damn well the FBI didn't do this. Gaetz knows good and damn well. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she probably actually believes they did it. All right, Jackson, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think that was a perfect intro to me. I think she probably actually does believe it because Marjorie Taylor Greene is insane. And the fact that she holds as much weight as she does within the voting base, especially the Trump, the Trump base of the Republican Party, really just signals where they are. And this is an old tale, the reverse racism, and it's a two-tier justice system when all of a sudden it's about people who ran up in the Capitol buildings. They're so unjustly in jail right now because, that's just a normal thing that people do on a, regular Wednesday. They just run up in the Capitol. And outside of that, like I don't remember, not one of these other kids who shot up some school or something, and they was looking for his parents, and they had a picture of him when he was like in church or something. And some conservative pundit gave a take where they were like, they're trying to make you scared of white people, and it's so this is not new, and this is something that's been going on for a very long time, and it really just kind of shows a projection of a guilty conscience in a lot of ways.
That's right.
That's really all it is at the end of the day. It's like, well, no, look at it. Look, let's see, it's happening over here too.
So very well said.